Okay, the bulk is bulking. What is up, y'all? My name is Devin, and today we're gonna be diving into if you're training hard enough and often enough to build muscle. You wanna make sure that the time that you're spending in the gym is actually used properly and productively. You're not just going there, wasting your time, not seeing the gains that you wanna see, so we're gonna dive into that. But if you are interested in one-on-one coaching, my coaching application link is gonna be down below, as well as my website, devinspears.com, which includes my high-protein cookbook, Healthy Doesn't Suck. And I eat meals from my cookbook literally on a weekly basis, damn near on a daily basis, so it's definitely worth the cop. Also, my pride and joy, my program MASC Made Simple, is gonna be in that link as well, okay? The biggest thing that I want to debunk when it comes to this question, am I training hard enough? Am I training often enough? Is more does not necessarily mean more. A lot of us fall into this trap when we first get started with training, where we're gonna work out 6 times per week. We're gonna do as many sets as our body can possibly handle and then pray to look like The Rock tomorrow. That's just simply not how things work. Have a freaking plan. If you're creating a plan for yourself on ChatGPT, yo, go for it. It's fine. But have a plan. Don't just go into the gym doing whatever the hell you feel like on that day. And make sure that the plan that you have is specific to your goals and it's not biting off more than you can chew. If you are a beginner, I suggest going for 3, 4, or 5 times per week, and it's totally fine to start off with 3 times and work your way up. The biggest focal point of your training journey is to make it sustainable. I personally worked out damn near every single day when I first started, and I got burnt out and I took a couple of months off because I was like, yo, maybe this training stuff isn't for me. I fell out of love with it very quickly, and a lot of us do make that mistake. Now, when it comes to volume, and when we say volume, we're talking about the amount of sets and reps you're having per movement, just quantity. It's very important that you're intelligent with where you're allotting your energy in the gym. Whenever I think of my time in the gym, I think of it like real estate. There's only so much that I have, and it has to make sense for the space that I'm giving it. So what I suggest doing is having a compound movement, at least one compound movement for those larger muscle groups, and at least one accessory movement for those larger muscle groups. So for example, for chest, that's gonna be one big pressing movement, but make sure no matter how much weight you're loading up, you're always able to feel that mind muscle connection. So that means feeling the stretch of the lift, feeling the contraction. So that's the squeeze phase of the lift. If you don't feel the weight, but you're just moving it from point A to point B, and you're not training hard enough. The specific amount of volume honestly depends on what you can recover from. I have some folks I work with that are machines, they're on a bulk, and they can just have, 6 exercises in a training day and recover from that perfectly fine. Whereas I have some other folks who they don't have the time or they don't have the capacity to recover from 6 training movements for a day, so they'll do 4 movements per day, and it's totally dependent on you. For the purpose of building muscle, we want at least 2 to 4 sets. Now, if we're doing a heavier movement, we're gonna stick to 8 to 12 reps, right? Because you're not gonna be able to push heavier weight for more reps than that. Versus if you're doing a lighter weight movement, for example, a dumbbell bicep curl, it just simply makes a little bit more sense to do higher reps. Not for the arbitrary sake of, well, it's lighter weight, so I'm gonna do more reps. The reason why we are gonna be doing more reps for a accessory movement like that is because we're looking for that metabolic fatigue. So when you feel all that blood pumping into that muscle, you're getting that pump, you're digging deep into that burning sensation, that is money, that is gold, and that's really gonna help you build that muscle up. We just covered, are you training enough in terms of volume and quantity? Now, what about the quality of your training? Are you training hard enough to build muscle? That comes down to a few variables, and this is actually something that I discuss every single week with my clients. The number one thing is gonna be form. If you are having the perfect training program, but you're training insanely inaccurate and you're just not stimulating the muscle as it should be, before your ego tells you that you need to be lifting up the entire gym, you simply must make sure that your form is right. So you can use YouTube videos to make sure your form is good. You can record it and watch it back, and you can't overload weight before that one key principle is in place, okay? Now, aside from form, the next thing we're gonna be looking at, this is all before overloading weight, mind-muscle connection. After you've got your form down, do you actually feel the muscle group being worked? Do you actually feel that burning sensation? Feeling it is half the battle. If you're doing a dumbbell bicep curl and you're like, hey, I'm hitting this shit, hey, but you don't actually feel your biceps feel like they're gonna explode, spoiler alert, you're not gonna see the results that you're looking for. Now, the third thing is progressive overload. After you've got those 2 basics down in terms of form and mind-muscle connection, if you're doing the same weight over and over again consistently and it's just super easy for you, you're simply not gonna be building muscle and you're wasting your time. Now, that does not mean that you're increasing weight for the sake of increasing weight. So this is where recording your sets becomes very important, because if you're using the same weight, for example, 135 pounds on bench press, and every single week that shit is moving smoother, you have more control, it looks more stable, that is a form of progressive overload. But if you're moving the same weight and it's just a breeze for you, it's easy breezy beautiful, you gotta up the weight, bro. I can't tell you how often I see people switching exercises. I go to the gym at the same time every day and I see the same people, and sometimes I'll see the same people do a different exercise every single day. How are you gonna track progressive overload like that? If you're going from a Smith incline press to a flat bench press to a machine press to a cable fly to push-ups to dips, and you're doing a different thing because you're trying to shock the muscle, how are you tracking progressive overload? How are you understanding if you're getting stronger with the movement? You're not tracking it, you're just doing whatever the hell you feel like, and you're not gonna grow muscle that way. So find movements that work for you for those 3 principles that I just mentioned: form, mind-muscle connection, and that you're able to add weight to, and stick to that shit over time, okay? Training to see muscle growth is not like CrossFit. It's not like a Michael Bay movie, right? Like, it's not gonna be the most exciting thing every single day, but you go in there, you move that weight, you feel it, you get intense, you envision what you want your physique to look like. You stick to those movements that work over time and you will build muscle. You do not have to shock the muscle. You should not be doing a different exercise every single time you work out. You can have all those aspects that I just mentioned. Form is down packed, mind-muscle connection is perfect, you're progressing over time. But this last component, this last piece of the puzzle is gonna dictate if you are gonna grow or stay the same size, and that is recovery, okay? Don't be like me when I first started training. I was an almond mom to myself.
How are you?
I'm feeling really weak. I have like half almond.
I have a couple of almonds. Chew them really well because your stomach is not.
Okay, love you.
Okay, I love you too, baby.
I was literally eating rice cakes, almonds, and like sometimes I eat chicken and rice. Literally for the most part, I ate rice cakes like somebody was paying me to eat rice cakes. I was so malnourished. I was so skinny. And when I tell you I was in the gym working out hard, bro, I was killing myself. I was absolutely killing myself. I was stressed the hell out. I was under eating. I was getting shitty sleep because my schedule was jam-packed and I didn't grow. And no freaking wonder, like no wonder I didn't grow. There are a couple of modalities that you want to look for when it comes to recovery. And the first thing is going to be your food, okay? If you're under eating, if you're doing like a keto diet, no shade to keto, make sure that your food is on par with your expectations, right? So if you're looking to build muscle, even if you're not trying to bulk up, make sure that you're intelligent with your macronutrient intake and your caloric intake, right? You want to make sure that you're biasing your meals towards protein, a nice, clean, easily digestible source of carbs, source of vegetables that doesn't make you gassy, because a lot of us are gassy when it comes to the broccoli, okay? Make sure that you're intelligent with your food and that you're actually eating and eating throughout the day, not starving yourself and then going home at night and binge eating. Well, I didn't eat anything throughout the day, so now I can just eat this. You're not gonna grow muscle like that. And you're honestly gonna probably have a terrible relationship with food, right? The second recovery modality is gonna be, drum roll please, sleep. You gotta sleep. You can't stay up until 2 o'clock in the morning watching Are You the One? Muscle is really built when you're in REM sleep, which is rapid eye movement. And that's when you're truly recovering. Your body is like, let's freaking go. I'm sleeping like a newborn baby. Like that is the type of sleep that is gonna help you see gains, okay? So make sure that you're setting clear boundaries with yourself. I gotta be up at 6 for work. I gotta be up at 6 for school. So I'm definitely gonna get my butt into bed by at least 11 o'clock at the latest. I promise, like I pinky promise, if you stick to everything that I outlined here for at least 6 months to a year, come back to me and tell me how your gains are looking, and I can guarantee you they're gonna be looking alright, okay? Like I mentioned, if you are interested in working with me, everything for that is gonna be linked down below. Follow me on Instagram, that's also linked down below. We hit 30K, guys. That's awesome. That is the video, y'all. Like I always say, Devin loves you, Devin's a Don, and Devin is out of here, boy.